My name's Gideon Turner, and I'm playing Jake, who's an American journalist who lives in Paris. And is obsessed with bullfighting. I think what it was actually just the detail of characters and the story. That it's full of the excitement of a post-war youth and post-war people who are expats. They've gone to Paris to live, to kind of get away from maybe memories of a horrible war, because it was just set just after the First World War, and a lot of Americans went to live in Paris. For one thing, because the exchange rate was so good, and so they could live very well in Paris for quite a little money, really. And also just the excitement of the running with the bulls and bullfighting, which people then were completely obsessed with, and it must have been a real thrill to be running down the streets with a bull kind of chasing you. And and so I think the adaptation works very well for the reasons that it's literally a very different two halves, with live jazz, which sort of totally brings it into the audience, right into the audience. I think the first scene, which is set in a jazz club bar in Paris, and to have live jazz there, just for us as performers, was pretty incredible. It just brings it to life and makes it very real and believable, and hopefully for an audience as well, it makes it an experience as well as coming to see a play. And again, with Pamplona, the musicians all dig in and play whatever they can get their hands on, whether it's the floor, wooden boxes, and so it literally brings the whole thing to life. And so it's pretty thrilling for us to be involved with as well. He realised it wasn't a lost generation, and they're not a lost generation. They were just seen as a lost generation, which I think a lot of youth generations are seen as today is very similar. And so I think people identify with that, with the alienation of a certain kind of person, and also a certain age of person. They become alienated from society, and they're seen as a lost generation, but actually they probably work very, very hard, which the guys in this, Jake is the character I'm playing, is a very hard-working journalist who has a real work ethic as well. And so I think people identify with that just the alienation of people, and also a post-war generation who have gone through horrific experiences and probably have horrific injuries. The character I'm playing was wounded very badly in the war, and and then coming out the other side and living in civilian life after that, and having to be normal and like nothing's happened, and yet you've seen these horrible things and sustained terrible injuries. I think it's very relevant to all eras. We're on at the Trafalgar Studios, Trafalgar 2, which is just on Whitehall, just at the bottom of Trafalgar Square. And you go to ATG tickets, and you can get tickets for Fiesta. We're on to the 2nd of March.